You've got some incredible new singles out. How did you decide the order they would come out in between, Die With Me, IDK, Reintegration? Was there a particular discussion about the order those would drop in?
Yeah, I think we knew from the start that we were going to go with Die With Me as our radio, like our first radio full press single. And I think Reintegration kind of summed up the the overall concept of the record, uh, um, as far as like what the songs are about, right? And IDK was just seemed a good follow-up track. Those are a couple of my favorite songs on the record, so it was a good way to introduce this new album.
Were you guys on track to make another album, or was like the pandemic the perfect time for you all to just sit down and crank something out?
Uh, so we had actually finished the record the November before the pandemic started. So we were ready to release in April of 2020. And the first weekend of March, we were supposed to drive from Las Vegas to LA to go do photos with Dean Carr. And that was the final piece that we needed for all of the album artwork and all the pieces that needed to be together to release music. And LA got shut down that week for the first time, so we didn't end up going. So then we waited until July, and they kind of loosened the restrictions for a short period in that part of summer, and we snuck out to LA for a day and for 2 days, and we did the photo shoot then. And then still we waited, all this time because the pandemic was just raging, so there was no point to release music and then not be able to do anything with it, not be able to tour. And so we waited, and here we are. And now we're releasing the record that's been done for now coming up on a couple of years, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It is what it is, right? So at least everything's opening back up now. We can release it and we can tour on it. And everybody's, excited to be back, allowed to go to concerts and allowed to be social and gather together and all that stuff. So I think it's going to actually work out in our advantage in the long run, but it was frustrating there for a minute.
With this particular album, how much of a hand did Gemini Syndrome have when it came to the production aspects of not just the tracks, but the overall production aspects of the new album itself?
As far as what, like artwork and all that stuff too, or
no, just as far as the engineering goes and fine tuning how you wanted everything to sound.
We pretty much did all of our pre-production by ourselves. We're pretty self-contained in that, right? But we went to Matt Good for the actual production of the record and kind of just put it in his hands. He was more than willing to listen to our ideas and incorporate any suggestions we had. And he's a master craftsman, so we kind of just let him do his thing.
We're going to be seeing you guys on a summer tour. What have you missed most about being on stage?
Oh, just making music and sharing it with people, that kind of feeling of playing shows and vibing off the crowd and kind of having a connection there. I think that's probably been the most missed part about it. I personally like being a hermit. I don't really have a problem with it. So being locked in my house for a year was just time to hang out with my dog and read a lot of books, watch a bunch of movies and probably stream every TV show on streaming services. But it'll be nice to be back out and be surrounded by familiar faces and not so familiar faces, just doing the thing. This is what I do for my life, not just for work, but this is what I've done since I was a little kid. So
you're on this summer tour and there's going to be some festival appearances as well. Are there particular stops you're looking forward to on this tour?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to both of those festival dates. Those will be exciting. We've done Rockfest before a couple of years ago and we had a great time. I'm excited to go through the Chicago area. That's where I'm from. So I got family there, so that'll be nice. We get to go out to the East Coast, which I'm excited to go everywhere, to be honest with you. I got friends and family all over the country and I get to see most of them. I get to get tattooed by my buddy Brett Stuhler out of Jersey. I haven't gotten a tattoo in quite some time, so that'll be painful and terrible and fun all at the same time, I guess, maybe.
Another memory from tour to take with you, though.
Yeah, that's one of the things I tend to do is I meet these friends that turn out to be tattoo artists, and then I like their work, and the only time I can really see them is when we're on tour. So it's not necessarily the most fun thing to get tattooed and then be on tour and be sleeping in a moving vehicle, depending on
Right.
where it is. I remember when I got the ditch of my elbow done, you have to sleep with it completely extended.
Ah.
So I'd have to sleep in the bunk, like set up all weird with like a pillow under my elbow. And then, I don't know, another one on my forearm got infected once, and that was
Oh
really
gosh.
gnarly. So uh, I don't know, it's never a dull moment in the touring world.
When you are on tour, are these tattoos themed just for something you found that you like ahead of time, or are these something you've stumbled upon during the tour that you're like, this is a memorable moment I need to etch on my body?
They're kind of, I'd say they're mostly all symbols representing things that I believe or things that I do. Most of my tattoos have like, I have a couple tarot card images. I have a lot of religious symbols. Um, my next tattoo is going to be a butterfly, which is the Christian symbol for resurrection, and also one of the kung fu styles that I study called Wu Dip Sao, which is a butterfly palm. So I have a praying mantis on this arm, and I'm getting a butterfly over here.
All right. Well, are there upcoming new singles you guys are going to be dropping before you head out on tour as well? Or are you just looking forward to seeing people in seats singing along to the three new songs you've got out now?
For right now, for this tour, I think the first three we've got is what you're going to have. Um, Die With Me is still at radio; it's still doing its thing. So we're just going to kind of ride that wave and see where it goes. So request that song. Um, yeah, we'll go out and do this 5 week run, and then take probably another month off, and then go back out again before the end of the year. I'm sure by the end of the year we'll release more music, and I know the rest of the album is coming within the next couple months. So I can't tell you what the next single is for sure yet, but there will be more.
Good. Stay tuned.
That's right. Sooner than later.
You all are a part of social media. Why is that such an important way for you to stay in touch and inform your fan base of what's been going on lately?
Because that's how everybody connects now. Got to stay with the times. I can't send out tour notifications via carrier pigeon or the Ravens from Game of Thrones or anything like that. So
That's right.
the internet is what we have.
Telegrams anymore.
That's right. That's right. Sending telegraphs. Yeah, that's probably not going to work.
Do you have a dream collab you'd love to work with someone in the future for a Gemini Syndrome song?
There's a ton. Um, it's hard to say. I'll tell you this: that we're gonna have we're going out with A Killer's Confession, and Waylon has been my good friend since way back when we toured with Mushroomhead on our first national tour, and so I'll be collaborating with him probably on a song while we're out on the road live, not necessarily in the studio, but man, I got a ton of friends I'd love to work with. I don't want to just single anybody out, so I'll just leave that an open ended. I'm open and willing to consider all options. I love
Yeah, my
working with
next
I
my
love
next
working with other
question
people.
my next question was going to be when you're on these tour stops with Outlier and Pushing Veronica and Eva Under Fire, were there any chances of you guys stepping on stage together? But I guess you kind of answered that.
Yeah. I gave a little secret away, but that's all right. Give people something to look forward to.
Is there anything else about your upcoming tour or about the songs itself that you really want to we share with our readers? I mean, these you said were some of your favorite songs that you've worked on, at least for this album.
I'd say this record is my favorite work to date. I'm incredibly happy with it. I'm incredibly proud of it. Um, I think we have evolved and grown musically as songwriters, as performers. So I'm excited to get all of it out there. As far as anything coming up worth mentioning, we are doing our acoustic shows at these shows again. So we do a little acoustic thing after the main show. You can get tickets for that on our website. We usually turn, so if you've never been to one of these things before, we turn our tunes into full scale, like MTV unplugged kind of deals, right? And I play piano, And some of these, so like I'm really excited about the Die With Me acoustic version right now, because it's kind of turning into this sultry, like Tori Amos-esque piano piece, right? Which is a totally different feel than the the
Right, the
kind of just
heart.
heavy rock riff. It's
Yeah.
this really pretty like piano thing, man, and it's coming together really nicely. So it's a cool opportunity to see Gemini Syndrome do Gemini Syndrome songs, but in a totally different environment and a totally different rapping, if you will.
What would you like to say then to everyone who are fans and supporters of Gemini Syndrome?
Thanks for sticking with us. Sorry we were gone for a minute. Had to handle some stuff. It's all handled now, and we're back firing on all cylinders. So thank you for your patience.